Good day, I'm Monica Bester at Excel International, the leading learning and development facilitator, Xero champion, and Xero tax specialist. Today, I'll be taking you through how to process bank transactions in Xero. I'll be sharing my screen shortly and taking you through the steps. So you would notice that we are in a demo company used for training purposes. Your bank account would generally be linked, and you can do this processing on a weekly, monthly, or even an annual basis if you really don't use Xero for the management of your finances in the company. But if I click in the bank account and under the Reconcile tab, that's where we will be working. Right, so we have a couple of things that automatically match up already. So generally this happens when we have processing that has occurred in the past, and it automatically suggests where this item should go, like this right here. It's picking something up that it recognizes, and it suggests the same processing. Okay, this is an invoice that has been processed and the receipt came in. So it's automatically picking up this amount and the client name matches. So it's suggesting that that's where it should be allocated to. Right. You also have some payments that are aligning. So you have a couple that's already, you would notice here again, it suggests bank fees, the same as at the top. So what I generally do is I come into this tab and start with the straightforward items first. So it looks to me like this client paid the invoice. I would click OK. Right. It looks to me like this is a payment that's been loaded. It automatically matches and we click OK. This suggestion, I think this is correct. So we click OK. Right. And you work your way through all of the ones that say, okay, here we have a rule that's being processed. So this is a bank rule that's been added. If you want to just check that this is correct, you can just click on that edit rule. It's going to take you to the rule and you can then assess if it's treating this correctly. Right, so it's taking it to office expenses. You'd see this is a spend money rule, and then all of the terms of this rule has been added. Okay, so I'm just going to cancel because I think that rule has been set up correctly, and then we can click OK. Right. Let's say you have parking, and this is something that occurs often, and you use central city parking often for your parking. You can also create a rule. So we're going to click there, create bank rule. Automatically, it's going to open up your create rule page, spend money rule. I'm going to select that any conditions can match. All right. You set the contact. So we're going to set central city parking. I'm going to add a new one if that's not there yet. Your description, I'm just going to use parking again. Okay. So now we can select our account. There's not a specific account for parking, but maybe there we go. There's one for travel national. Right. All right. So I have central city parking and the account is travel. Okay. The reference, you can choose if it should use the reference from the reference, the description. If you want to put it up as during the bank reconciliation, let's just use the reference that is in the bank, and then we can save this rule. I'm also just going to change our conditions here at the top to say that if the field and this is basically the supplier name, contains Central City Parking, it's going to apply this rule. Right, so let's just save that rule. Now, when we look at our bank accounts, you would notice that Central City Parking there and there and there, it's quite often there. They all have this rule applied to them. Now we can just click OK, OK. Right. Okay, so here we have a bill that's been paid. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go match. And then I'm going to select the bills that have already been loaded. I'm going to click OK. On the invoice side of things, we can also go match. And this, it just says bank deposit. So this could be somebody that deposited money into our bank directly. Let's say that it is this client here. So now we can select those invoices applicable. Okay. And now that they've deposited a round amount, but their invoices have odd amounts, what we can do then is just split one of these. And we indicate a part payment and split that up. Then you can go and reconcile and click OK. All right. If there is an expense that we don't process a bill for, like this one, we can also just process that manually. So let's add the who is the contact, the why, let's just say bread. I see it's a bakery. And then we can select our expense account. Your expense account, yeah, it depends on your business. But let's say you are selling baked goods, then this could very well be a cost of goods sold or purchases. And then we're going to click OK. Right away, you would see that this top entry here automatically picked up as well, and it's processing it the same. Okay, I just want to add here that you would notice that the tax rates look a bit funny. It's just because this demo company has been set up as an international company and not a UK specific company, but we would do a separate training video on how to process VAT specifically. But just on that VAT, very straightforward, you can just select the applicable tax rate in this drop down applicable to your transaction. Important to note that if your company is not yet registered for VAT, you don't process the VAT element, you can just select no VAT. Okay, so we have gone through how to allocate an invoice, how to allocate an invoice as a part payment, how to allocate bills, how to allocate some expenses where there's no rule applied, and how to allocate expenses where there is a bank rule, how to add a bank rule. And we've also looked at Xero automatically suggesting some of the allocations. All right, so we've gone through the basics of processing in Xero. If you're unsure about allocations, how to add specific items or any other details, do feel free to reach out to us so we can assist in that regard. Thank you for watching, and we hope you attend another training session soon.